I mean, I feel like I know. I
Hmm.
hope. What
But
is your favorite anime? I feel like I know the answer, but I could get it wrong.
I promise it's not this. It's just these were the posters that were close to me at the time. It's not these. I love Demon Slayer, but it's not my favorite. But I'll say
Do you want?
it's like
Wait. What?
Hunter x Hunter is what's like, or Hunter x Hunter, depending on how you say it. So, yeah, that's my
Oh,
favorite.
I,
Ah, look,
I,
boom, didn't know.
I was gonna say I had a different one completely in my head.
What was you gonna say?
I think Naruto.
As my favorite of all time? Nah,
No, because I know how much you love it, sort of thing.
that is true.
Like, so
That's
I just sort of, because whenever I think of you, I think of like anime. Same with Jeremy as well. Like, he loves Naruto, sort of thing. And yeah, so one of the biggest anime, obviously one of the biggest animes ever. So I just sort of thought, oh, yours would be Naruto, but no, I was wrong. I'll hold my hands up.
yeah. No,
Tran.
yeah. I'm like the reason why Hunter x Hunter is my favorite is because it was like the first one that I had watched as a kid.
Yeah,
It's like it because they had two versions. They had the 1998 one, great year by the way, 1998 one, and then they had the revamp that came out in the early 2010s. So I watched the 1998 one like they used to like DVDs and stuff that one of my old foster friends used to like just have around the house and stuff. So I watched that. And that was
yeah.
like my first anime experience before like even Dragon Ball Z and stuff.
Mm.
So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, my first anime experience was definitely that Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and then obviously King Code Lyoko as well. I used to watch that before
hey,
going to school. Banger. But funny enough, like, I mean, I never saw those as anime. Like I said, that's
yeah,
when I was younger. I never saw because I didn't know what it was. I just thought it were cartoons, or animations, but I didn't know it was anime was an actual thing. So I
yeah.
always see the first proper anime I ever watched, and it is my favorite anime to this day. Is Attack on Titan.
That's fun.
I got that quite heavily requested for me to watch as my first anime sort of thing. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll watch Attack on Titan sort of thing. Fell in love with it straight away. Then moved
Yeah,
on to Sword Art, then Death Note, obviously a lot of the big ones, Death Note and stuff like that. And then I started to watch the more like little ones like Dress Up Darling and stuff like that, quintessential quintuplets and stuff. Like I have quite a range of what I like to watch, and I think it's great. I mean, like obviously Blue Lock, Croco no Basket. I love the sport ones. Love
yeah.
Haiku. Love that show
Like,
so damn much.
do you know the one thing I will say about like anime that I don't think any other medium could do? Maybe sometimes TV shows, maybe film.
Mm.
But like anime, I feel like has the ability to wrap you into sports that you don't even necessarily care about. Because if I asked you about like basketball before, you'd be like, yeah, like I played it, but
Mm.
like I ain't sitting there for a 40-minute game.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I, before that, I was very much like, oh yeah, I mean, if I was asked to watch a game, like by like just like, oh, we're having mates around watch a basketball game, I'd be like, yeah, all right, cool, I'll go, but I wouldn't really know what's going on. Like, I had no
Yeah,
idea. I've never played. The only time I've only played one 2K game. I'm not including the night we was at. I'm not including that night recently, but I'm saying that years ago when I used to. I think I was on with you, probably Jr. Jord Castle as well, like people like that. But I can't imagine. I haven't really played another one ever since, apart from that other night, and I was just picking it up. Quite, found it quite easy to pick up again. But no,
yeah,
yeah, I would say I've always liked basketball, but I haven't. It's not like football. I don't go out of my way to like watch a game and stuff like that. But I like the sport as a whole, sort of thing. Like I'll watch clips, I'll watch highlights and stuff like that on every now and then. It will normally just come up on my feed, and I'll on Twitter or something, and I'll watch the highlights, basketball highlight, and then I get sucked in, and then I start watching other basketball highlights, and I'm like, oh, this
yeah.
is so cool. And then, but then since watching Kuroko, it sort of spurred that on even more. And I'm like, yeah, I could play basketball, but I can't.
I can figure it out.
I could do it. I could do that. I could disappear.
Yeah,
But
my,
no, yeah, and that's one other thing of the anime as well. It makes you believe that you can do what they're doing. Sometimes you're watching it and you think, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
I'll tell you
Oh,
what, I'm really bad with that because this is where I redeem myself. So my favorite film, not even just anime film, just film of all time, which is this one
yeah.
there, there, which is Akira, has me in my head believing that I can do a motorcycle slide. So
Shut up.
bike, so I can do the slide. Oh, but
no.
as well, like I've fully planned it out in my head. I'm like, look, if I just like turn and I hit the brakes here, then you
You're,
get the swing
yeah,
here,
you're dying.
and like, no, that, yeah, but, like, it's
Get
like
caught
those
under the
things.
wheel or some shit. It's not
Have you
edge.
seen those things like how like how to fight a bear? It's like
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's, it's like oh, you go back to step two and realize you'd already died. Like
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no.
well, yeah,
Uh, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm so glad I got into anime because I at my first actual, funny enough, do you remember Michael we used to go to school with? I know I'm not going to say his
yeah.
name obviously, but Michael we used to go to school with, and he actually introduced me to Death Note. But I never
Wow.
watched it. I never watched it after that. Like I was watching an episode with him in class, and we got about maybe 5 minutes in, so I didn't really get to see a whole lot. And then the bell went, and
Yeah,
then we had to go and do whatever. So maybe if I watched more, maybe I would have been hooked on it a lot earlier. But I watched
yeah.
about 5 minutes with him, and I went about my business. I was like, oh, okay, see you. You know, so it's always been there of this thing of like what I could have potentially got into a lot. But I'm kind of glad that I got into it when I did, because I feel like if I got into it when I was younger, I would have been a menace. I would have been like a little. I would have been horrible. I would have been like those horrible little anime kids used to. Yeah, yeah, you're wrong. But
Oh,
you know, I would have been like those little anime kids that you see today. You know, and I'll be like, yeah, no, it's not me. Definitely not me.
that's right. Because like I've always watched anime like when I was a kid.
Mm.
Like a lot of I think when I was younger, definitely more so films than series. But like it was literally it started off by like whatever
Mm.
DVDs I could get my hands on. Like then it went from there to like Kicks. Kicks is the goat. Galactic Football, if you know, you know.
Oh yeah, Galactic. Yeah, yeah, good
But
times.
like you you know, what I mean, I'll see what I can catch on TV, and then you
Mm.
get a bit older, you get access to the internet, and then yeah, from there it's just like
Yeah, I
guess
mean, yeah, Kiss
you
Anime.
know, so before you get that Crunchyroll subscription, you gotta feel it out.
Mm.
That's anime is there for.
I remember when I made the change to Crunchyroll,
Yeah,
and because I remember the exact time, like not date or anything, but I remember the exact because I was watching Sword Art Online. I think it was like
yeah,
as it was, you know, weekly. I think it was like season 3. I think it was, and you know, a lot of cool stuff that happened and stuff like that.
yeah.
And they only posted half of the episode on
Oh,
Kiss Anime. Yeah, so it got about halfway through, and I was like, oh, Crunchyroll now. So I just downloaded it and then watched it on Crunchyroll, and I was like, okay, great. I've never gone back since. I've always been on Crunchyroll now. It's just, you know, watching other stuff like really like Spy X Family as well.
oh yeah, I
Um,
remember that.
oh, I watched in cinema. I went on my own to watch it. Suzume. Have you seen
Oh,
it? Have you
great,
seen it?
right?
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Oh, you seen? Yeah, I
yeah.
loved it. I loved it so much, bro. It was pulling at my heartstrings. I was like tearing up, and I was getting choked. And I was like, yeah, no, I loved it so much. The visuals and everything were amazing. The story was amazing. I
Did
can't
you see
wait.
Bell when it came out?
Hmm?
Bell. It's another
No,
anime.
no.
Oh, mate, you definitely went after this. It's really good. Like similar kind of thing, beautiful visuals, and it's just like really
Yeah,
gets like
I was gonna say I've never watched anything anime like that. Like I mean, that acts like that sort of anime in cinema before. That was my first experience, and I went, you know, I went on my own sort of thing because, yeah, it's just like you know what, I'm not doing anything, go, you
yeah,
know, and you know because there's no if you keep trying to go with people and people are busy, it's never gonna happen. You know, it's never gonna happen.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, absolutely loved it. Can't wait to watch more. Um,
The vibe is like there's nothing like watching like anime films in the cinema because
mm.
you know that everyone there is like we're here for this.
Yeah, we're all here for this sort of thing. I went into Suzume completely blind as well. I
Yeah,
hadn't seen any trailers, no nothing. All I saw was like posters and stuff. And then I was walking past, I was in Westfield, walking
yeah,
past View, and I was like, oh, it's on. Oh, it's on in like half an hour. All right, I'll go in and watch it. So it's like a
yeah,
spur of the moment thing. It wasn't like I planned it. I was just there, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go and watch it. And yeah, I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I got to because it's not in cinema anymore. But I can't wait for it to go on like Crunchyroll or something like that because obviously I want my missus to watch it. You know, I really because I kept
yeah.
saying to her, "Let's go watch it, let's go watch it, let's go watch it." And she's like, "Oh no, no, I don't want to go." But I mean, she likes anime, but you know, we'll sit down and watch the actual film together on my TV or at something like that at some point. But
Yeah.
yeah.